Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you guys are here. Today I want to take a few minutes and give a more proper review of this Hinderer Eclipse that I've had now for getting close to a year, kind of a long-term review I guess you'd call it, and just share it with you guys. First, I just want to say thank you for anyone who's come in to check out the knife, the EDC content. I really appreciate you being here. All I ask is if you're so inclined and you haven't had a chance yet, if you'd hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon, it would really help me out. And I want to say thank you to all my channel members. I appreciate you all so much. And now let's talk about this Hinderer Eclipse that, if I'm not mistaken, was a Knife Joy exclusive. It is a flipperless Eclipse. So on most Hinderers, you've got this tri-way system, flipper tab, because this still operates on bearings. It's got skiffs in it now, or Teflon washers, or phosphorus bronze washers. So the tri-way means there's three alternate bearing bushing combinations. But this knife is, the Eclipse is probably Rick Hinderer's most tactical design knife. It is very much in the vein of Hinderer in having the thick scales, the thick blade stock. We'll get some dimensions in a second. A full-size knife made in the USA. The Eclipse is actually 20 CV. This one is. So very slicey for a thicker grind. That was me hitting the choil. And then if we just want to test our bite, very sharp. Came very sharp. I keep it stropped up. I've done a little hand sharpening on it just to work that edge a little bit more. And then I added to this particular knife, this came with, I forget if it had a olive OD green G10 scale, but it is the Stonewash bronze. And I ordered and found this smooth titanium scale that I picked up to make it a tie Hinderer. And then I picked up this battle blue hardware kit just to kind of add some color to it. This is probably my flashiest Hinderer, but it's probably also one of my favorites. I love the fact that it doesn't have the flipper, even though I'll show you in a second. I really like Hinderer's flippers, and this just seems to give me a little bit more purchase than some of the others. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons, because this is a full-size knife in my opinion. And this is the Eclipse next to the Cold Steel 4max, Civivi Baby Banta, and then we have our Benchmade Bug Out, which is always a good one to look at. Where is that Bug Out? Oh, it got buried. Sorry about that, guys. So Benchmade Bug Out, definitely going to be thinner, going to be much shorter. And if we take our Paramilitary 2, it's going to be a little bit shorter, or about the same size as the Para 2 in length. But again, when you look at the thickness of these three knives, the Hinderer is much more of a, I would call it a hard use knife. Got a compression lock on the Spyderco, great lock. Got a bar lock or axis lock on the Benchmade, and then you've got a frame lock on the Hinderer. I've spine whacked all my Hinderers, even though I don't believe in that, and none of them fail for some reason. And I guess it's just the luck of the draw. You know, I'm sure some had lesser than great geometry. So let's compare this to a 3.5 inch XM18, and you'll see that these knives are very similarly shaped in length, but they're very different shapes in usability, where the Hinderer XM18 is going to be more of, I would consider, a breaching knife, a camp knife, a hard use work knife, where the Eklipse might lend itself to be more of a tactical knife. I don't know that to be true. I use them both as EDC knives. And then another knife that comes in close, but it's going to be shorter than both of these, is the Hinderer Jurassic. So the Hinderer Jurassic is, again, a full-size, full-scale size Hinderer, but it's going to come in just a little bit shorter than both the XM18 and the Eklipse. So for lack of better comparison, to me, the Eklipse seems to be about the same size as our XM18. So let's see what that translates into. So you've got an 8 1/4 inch overall. I'm going to call this a 3.5 inch CPM 20 CV blade. I'm going to call that handle 4.5 inches. And if you want to grab it behind, which I don't, you've got 4 1/4. So from right here to right here, that's a 4 1/4 inch grip. I like to grab it right here. It's not a choil. It might not suit larger hands with larger sausage fingers, but it's right under 5 inches for me. And when I'm breaking down cardboard or using it, I tend to choke up just so I don't catch material in that choil. Again, it's very thick stock. One thing I love about Hinderers is they use this deep barrel hardware. One side's a barrel, one side's the hardware. They use a unique pivot that you can't replace the pivot, but you can replace the hardware because the pivots are made for each blade and each knife. But you can literally take a penny, and I've got a penny just for Hinderers that I have some painter's tape on, and that's how I adjust my pivot. Or if I take it apart, I will use that, and then I'll use my, I think it's a T8 on my body screws. But let's get our clappers. And let's zero it out. And let's just see what our overall thickness is. So over 1/2 inch, 0.53. Our blade stock is 0.1665. And our behind the edge, the best we can get, .0215, and then up at the spanto, 0.030, and the spanto, which this is no, this isn't a spanto, I'm sorry. I was thinking that tip was going to be broader, but it's not, but it is a little broader where I measured it there. But again, don't count my measurements as being the science, but you can see the tri-way system there. You've got this titanium liner lock with a steel lock bar insert. Very nice open construction, over travel stop. You've got a reversible clip, or top bottom carry clip, but not reversible. You've got these finger studs that also act as your stop along with your stop pin. So this knife locks up very, very well. It's just a banger. One of my favorites. Great reverse flick knife. Just chunky. Let's get a weight on it, because we did have a 3.5 inch blade, but I did add a titanium scale. So I know this is going to be over our inch per ounce, but that'll be fun anyway. 5.15 ounces. So yeah, it's going to be a heavier knife, but all of my Hinderers are set up to kind of be beefy titanium knives, and they're work knives. And I like to have an overbuilt knife. Not all the time, but I do like to have it. So guys, that is the Hinderer Eklipse. I had done an overview on this knife when I first got it, back when I first started the channel. It was about 3 minutes long. I didn't go back and watch it. I felt like I'd left some stuff out, so I did want to kind of come back and revisit it. I'm a big fan in Hinders, and I'm going to bring you all a couple of others kind of as we go back through some of my long-term overviews, reviews, to make sure that I'm still happy with the knives. And spoiler alert, if they're still in my collection and still kind of coveted by me, they're going to be good knives. And the Hinderer Eclipse is definitely one of those. But guys, I appreciate you guys watching the content. I appreciate you guys supporting the lives. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel by watching. And I love each and every one of you. All I ask is if you'd please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for that guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. And always be up. Peace.